Secretary Tony Blinken just announced. This is just announced this today. He said that the president of the United States has appointed Penny Pritzker. What do you want about Joe Biden has never heard the name Penny Pritzker, like, or doesn't remember? He has heard her name, and I'll tell you why in a minute, but doesn't actually remember. Like, he appointed her, really? Do you really think he... If you walked into Joe Biden, wherever he's watching Wheel of Fortune right now, and you said, who's Penny Pritzker? Do you think he'd go, oh, I just appointed her to Ukraine's economic recovery? Or do you think he'd go, I think probably the latter. I think if you could wake him up, probably the latter. So Tony Blinken says, President of the United States has appointed Penny Pritzker as the U.S. Special Representative for Ukraine's economic recovery. That's what Ukraine needs right now, right? Is an American to just oversee their recovery, oversee how they're doing their recovery, which means selling off all their assets to some of the most powerful, richest entities in the world, such as BlackRock, which I've brought you those stories before now. The U.S. is buying up and selling off a variety of both Ukraine right now because it's now you break it, you buy it. But that's what the U.S. wanted. Well, actually, no, it's a little different. It's you break it, you have it. Well, that's interesting. The world, the U.S. is like a bull in a china shop, but everything they break, they get to keep for free. So Ukraine was, you break it, it's yours. That's what the U.S. has done. Okay, so Penny Pritzker, Ukraine's economic recovery. She will work with Ukraine's government, international partners, and the private sector to accelerate Ukraine's economic transformation. Now, I know what you're asking right now. I know what you're wondering. You're like, if they appointed this woman to oversee Ukraine's economic recovery, where did they find her? Like, where did they find someone corrupt enough to really do this for us? Where do you go? What list do you look on to find someone who will do this kind of criminal activity? Like, and be good at it, not just half-ass it, but really, really nail it. Really nail the chopping up and the selling off of Ukraine. Where would you find someone like? Where do you think if they found her? Do you think I'd be interested to hear your comments on this. Do you think she came from a mutual aid group that they found working in the poorer areas of Brooklyn? Do you think she was someone working with Doctors Without Borders? She was just really, withdrawing bullets from people in Yemen as we support that genocide there. Do you think? Where do you think they found her? Do you think she's a scientist and she's really done great work on the harms that plastics are doing in the oceans? Well, I'll tell you where they found her. If you guessed any of those, then you were way off. And this is actually not recent, and it is mainstream media. This is not. I'm not getting this from some, tiny indie outlet. This is U.S. News and World Report. It's a completely U.S. propagandistic centrist outlet. Penny Pritzker's subprime problem. This is from 2013. The 2008 financial meltdown, fueled by excessive subprime lending, snared many Wall Street titans. But well before that, subprime lending tripped up a billionaire heiress who is now poised to be President Barack Obama's next commerce secretary. She didn't end up getting it, and I'm about to tell you why. But so she was selected by President Obama to be the commerce secretary. She's a billionaire heiress, scion of the Hyatt hotel fortune, and was the top executive of a holding company that owned a bank called Superior Bank. That bank failed in 2001 and was taken over by the government before being spun off to another bank. Superior paid the government $460 million to offset the claims against the FDIC's bank insurance fund. Yet the failure also left about 1,400 depositors out of $15 million. So 1,400 people who used this bank that she owned and ran lost a total of $15 million. Of course, that doesn't matter to her, and she's a billionaire, so she could actually pay them all their money. She could pay them their $15 million and not even notice it. She's a billionaire heiress. 15 million, it'd be the equivalent of like $20 to you or me. And she could pay that to them and, deal with the problem that she and her bank created by being involved in subprime lending. Now, subprime lending, I think people that try and spin that as a positive go, oh, well, they gave homes to people that didn't have good enough credit to get a home, and that's a nice thing they did, but it kind of blew up in their face. No. It is predatory lending. It is tricking people into signing things they don't understand. It's telling people that you're the bank and you're there to help them with this loan and it's going to be great. And you secretly know that their loan rate is going to go way up in the coming years after whatever period, whatever number of years before it shoots up, and they're not going to be able to afford it. And that happened across the country. And of course, that then spiraled into the 2008 collapse. But it's predatory. It's people manipulating or tricking other people into giving the bank lots of money that ultimately destroys their lives. Many of them. So she was the scion of the Hyatt Hotel is still the scion of the Hyatt Hotel fortune. She was and here's the thing. She was actually the top executive of the holding company and was on the bank's board at another point. So it's not like she was disconnected from what this bank was doing. She knew exactly what it was doing. Pritzker was also ready for it. This is how the oligarchs work. They're one nice big club. Pritzker was also Obama's top fundraiser during the 2008 presidential campaign. So, top fundraiser for Obama. I'm sure she was a pretty good fundraiser for Biden, too. I doubt she set that one out. So, top fundraiser for Biden. Probably a giant fundraiser for top fundraiser for Obama. Probably a giant fundraiser for Biden. A billionaire hotel heiress. A owner of a bank that had predatory practices, ultimately destroying people's lives and leaving 1,400 people without a lot of their savings. Superior Bank was privately owned by the interests of two wealthy families, the Pritzkers and the Dwormans of New York, whose fortune came from real estate. And what do you want to bet that when you make that kind of fortune from real estate, it's not all under good terms? I think some of it was probably super, super shitty. Just saying. Penny Pritzker was chairwoman of the bank from 91 to 94, also a board member on the bank's holding company. It appears that Superior Bank became a dumping ground for low quality and possibly predacious, which is predatory, mortgages. I don't think there's any possibly about it. He also contended that financial expert also contended that Superior Bank aggressively sought deposits beyond the insured limits, even when it was on the verge of failure, and that it filed flawed and clearly erroneous reports on its financial condition with federal regulators. So she's the head of a lying predatory bank that collapsed and stole money from a lot of people. She is a billionaire, which already means she's a sociopath to begin with. And she was Obama's top fundraiser in order for him to purchase his election. And then she, I'm sure, was a big fundraiser for Biden for him to purchase his election. Not that Trump didn't have people trying to purchase his election. I don't want to say Biden was the only. It's not like Democrats are the only ones trying to constantly purchase all of our elections. It's both of them because they're one party. Anyway, did I ever do that one? And now, so people in the Biden administration looked at this resume and they said she would be great to help Ukraine with its economic recovery. And they announced it today. She's in charge of Ukraine's economic recovery. Basically, she proved that she was a good oligarch. She's good by helping them purchase their elections. She's good by running predatory banks, and she's a billionaire, so she's in that group of sociopaths. And they were like, "You have everything we're looking for. You would also be good at exploiting, breaking up, and selling off Ukraine. Here you are. Here's your new toy. Have at it."